The same mine-to-market route that anthracite coal once took via the Lehigh and Delaware Canals and the Lehigh Valley Railroad now welcomes walkers, bicyclists, runners, and other outdoor enthusiasts. The D&L Trail travels through 5 counties in eastern Pennsylvania for a total of 165 miles from Wilkes-Barre to Bristol. It's a network of canals, towpaths, railroad tracks, and right-of-ways.
All sections of trail that are possible are built along canal towpath or on historic railbed. Sometimes it's rail with trail, like through Jim Thorpe, where you're riding along beside an active railway. All of it is following that transportation route, and that's really what dictates where we build it.
The D&L Trail follows the same path used to ship coal from mines in northeast Pennsylvania to the shipping yards in Philadelphia.
This is a rail trail that came out of the industrial age, and now we're riding recreationally on a trail that was a workhorse of the Northeast, 150, 200 years ago.
You can walk, run, or bike the trail. The surface is made up of mostly crushed stone and packed dirt, with a few paved sections.
Like many of these rail trails, they were built specifically or rebuilt specifically to be bicycle trails.
It is narrower in the canal sections and wider in the rail trail areas.
The D&L Trail is 365 days a year. We do say that there's a busier trail season from April through October or so, but I highly encourage people to use it year-round, like I said, with winter activities, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing. Most of the landowners do have a rule, though, that it is open dawn to dusk.
I like it all times of year. Actually, I've been here in the winter when it was 20 below and there wasn't anybody here, so I don't know, I just enjoy it for all seasons. It's a good place for all seasons.
During the summer, it can get very busy, but once the kids get back to school, I'm retired, so it's a great time to get out and ride.
We meet up with other families we know, with my daughter's friends and their families, and we go for a walk about once a week when the weather's nice.
I have bicycled in 28 countries around the world. This is a world-class trail in our backyard.
As we continue our look at the 37-mile section of the D&L Trail that runs through the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, this video will focus on traveling from Jim Thorpe south to the Lehigh Gap.
It's an ideal place to get out in the world of nature here.
Jim Thorpe is a great trail town with plenty to see, things to do, and places to stay. Many people use Jim Thorpe as a starting point to travel north to Whitehaven or south towards Slatington and the Lehigh Valley. Leaving Jim Thorpe south, you'll cross the new Mansion House Bridge that spans the Lehigh River. For the next 6 miles, you'll be following the Lehigh River, where you might catch kayakers and even fishermen. There are many beautiful sights to see along this stretch of the D&L Trail.
Below Jim Thorpe to the canal, the towpath, that's a little bumpier. That was the mule-drawn, canal boat towpath.
In some areas, you'll have canals on your left and the river on your right. Be courteous, as the trail can get narrow here in spots. There are also a couple of water hazards you can travel through, or use the elevated bridge to get around it.
Here we are at mile marker 102.
This happens to be the Weisport-Lehigh Canal Park in Carbon County. This trailhead is in the town of Weisport. Here you'll find shops offering food, ice cream, and activities.
Weisport is very unique in what it provides to trail users. There's a really great shop called Chantilly Goods where you can stop and pick up some old-time ice cream and a milkshake. I know a lot of trail riders in this area love Chantilly Goods. Mario's Pizza is real close to the trail itself, so a great place to pick up any pizza or Italian meal, as well as the Hufford Mill. So if you're looking to stop in Weisport, there's great options for food. A lot of those places have entertainment as well, so you can kind of take a moment off of the bike or off of the trail itself and just kind of relax a little.
There's also a park in the center of town. If you're riding your bike, understand the roads are busy with plenty of traffic.
You definitely want to be a pretty avid road cyclist just to make sure you know the rules of the road and you're kind of keeping your eyes out for cars.
And while you're there, check out the Perryville Spur. It's located across the street from the trailhead. Go through a gravel parking lot toward a yellow gate. This is a 2-mile dirt towpath with views of the canal. However, you cannot easily access the town of Perryville from this spur. To continue south on the D&L Trail, you'll need to cross the river into the town of Lehighton. Here's how to do it. Leaving the Weisport trailhead, you will turn right onto Bridge Street. This is a short section of road shared with vehicles that crosses the Lehigh River. In order to get to the next portion of the trail, make your first right onto a short downhill paved path. Be careful as this is a steep grade down to Lehigh Drive. Making a left here is a spur to downtown Lehighton about a mile long. On the way, you'll pass an outdoor adventure center before you come to a T in the road. The Lehighton trailhead is in front of you with portable bathrooms. To get into Lehighton, make a left onto North Main Lane. You will cross Route 209 here and continue straight uphill for a block until you come into Lehighton. Here you will find many restaurants and shops in the downtown area, which is an easy walk off the Lehighton spur of the D&L Trail. There's also a beautiful park right there where you can relax.
Right up on First Street, there are plenty options, including Bonnie and Clyde's. So a lot of great food options right here, right off the trail in Lehighton.
To return to the D&L Trail from Lehighton, you'll need to travel south on Lehigh Drive past the paved path you used from Bridge Street. Lehigh Drive will eventually end, and you'll be back on a gravel path. This will continue your journey along the Lehigh River. On the way, you'll pass under the twin bridges of the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
4 miles south of Lehighton, you come to Bowmanstown.
We're in the Marvin Gardens Trailhead. This is a spot where you can access the Lehigh River. Here, the D&L Trail crosses Route 895 in order to continue. But you can make a left onto Route 895 and cross the bridge into the Bowmanstown area for a quick bite to eat. Continuing south from the Marvin Gardens Trailhead, you'll cross Route 895 onto Riverview Drive. You'll share this road for 0.8 of a mile to the East Penn Boat Launch Trailhead at mile marker 97. Just a mile south of Bowmanstown, we reach Riverview Park.
There's a campground here that makes it a great overnight stay.
The Riverview Park campground has river access. As mentioned before, camping is not allowed along the D&L Trail, except at a couple of designated areas, this being one of them. The facilities are maintained by East Penn Township and campsites must be reserved through the municipality. There's also a solar device charging station in the far end of the parking lot. If you'd like to know more about the anthracite region of the D&L Trail, pick up a trail map and guide or use the interactive trail map on the D&L website or app.
The D&L Trail Friendly Business Program really is a way for the community to come together and promote the businesses while welcoming trail users into those businesses.
The towns along the D&L Trail understand the benefits of having the trail and catering to those who use it.
We have looked at how trail users impact the economy in and around where a trail like the D&L is located, and it's only good things happening for the communities around them.
There are trail-friendly businesses in each town that welcome hikers and bikers.
The trail users not only need food and drinks, places to stop while they are utilizing the trail. A lot of times they're looking for rest areas. Maybe they're going to stay overnight, so an Airbnb or a hotel is always convenient. But they're going to stock up on the things that they have with them, such as water, Gatorade, some nature bars, things like that.
Towns such as Jim Thorpe, Lehighton, and Weisport offer lodging, food, bicycle repair, medical help, and more.
We know that these trail riders, while they're using the trails, are important, but also they're exploring new places. And they're going to come back and they're going to bring their families back. If you're spending the day on the trail, you might be a little dirty, you might be a little sweaty. You know that you're welcome inside that business, whether it's the candy shop, the restaurant, or again, a place to fill up your water bottle.
Remember, not all trailheads are in areas with easy access to amenities.
Some of them are places like a park that has multiple things you can do there. Some of them are simply a few parking spots, access onto the trail, and you're traveling from there. They range in having bathrooms and restrooms at some, water fountains at some, other things that you can do. But trailhead is generally meaning that it's an access point, somewhere you can go park and get on and off the trail.
Consult guidebooks and maps for more details. Those using the D&L Trail are asked to keep it clean.
It's a take your trash with you, find a trash can at a trailhead, so pick up the litter.
Along the trail, there are great opportunities for you to grab a trash bag, pick up after your dog, and throw it in the garbage.
Carry your trash to trailheads where there are trash receptacles.
We would encourage anyone that's interested in supporting the D&L to become a member. Membership benefits provide access to the Josiah White II canal boat rides, the National Canal Museum, and access to the archives. So if people are interested in special events along the trail and at the museum, membership is a great way to support the organization and help this heritage area continue to expand our reach.
The D&L Trail offers much beauty and breathtaking views, but it's also the home to many animals, birds, insects, and plants.
The D&L Trail is in a great location to see wildlife. We're right along the Lehigh River for the most part on the D&L Trail. Sections of the Lehigh Canal still exist along the trail. Runs alongside the Kittatinny Ridge, which is an important migration route for birds and other wildlife. So good chance you'll see some really interesting things at various parts along the trail. Pretty much the only wildlife that you'll usually see crossing the trail is reptiles like turtles and snakes. That's what we usually see around here.
Time of day and time of year will determine what wildlife you may see on the trail.
Earlier and later in the day are the better times to see things. When it's really hot out, especially in the summertime, wildlife is generally less active. Spring is a great time to see reptiles and amphibians, birds. Porcupines we see pretty much year-round. Scary looking animal, but very, very calm. They don't project their quills through the air or anything like that. A lot of people think that they can shoot their quills like arrows, but they can't. So as long as you don't touch the porcupine, you're safe.
While the trail is safe, it's not uncommon to encounter wildlife. Experts advise you to leave animals alone and keep your distance.
If you see wildlife, look at it from a distance, but leave it alone. Most animals at least try to defend themselves. In some cases that means they will bite back, in the case of snakes, for example.
Bears will usually stay away from humans. However, you may cross paths with them if they don't hear you.
If you see bears, they're going to leave you alone more likely than not, unless you cornered a cub or something like that, which is a pretty rare situation. They're usually going to go away from you. You'll rarely be in a situation where you'll be threatened by a bear. If it does happen, just don't make eye contact, back away slowly, and things should be okay.
Snakes are another possibility, but rare unless you walk off the trail. There are two varieties that can be dangerous.
We only have two venomous species in this area here, one of which you're more likely to see on the D&L Trail, which is the copperhead. Even rattlesnakes, copperheads, they don't go out of their way to attack a person. They're just defending themselves if they feel threatened. Again, as with other wildlife, just don't touch the wildlife and the snakes will leave you alone.
The biggest wildlife problem on the D&L Trail is ticks. It's always a good idea to use an insect repellent with DEET and to wear proper clothing.
As long as you don't wander off the D&L Trail, you shouldn't have to worry about ticks, but sometimes you might step off the trail into some higher grass. So ticks are actually probably the most dangerous type of wildlife that we have around here, to be honest. Yeah.
Plants can also be a problem if you're allergic to them. It's a good idea not to venture off the trail because poison ivy and poison sumac can be found in most areas of the trail.
Leaves of 3, let it be, because poison ivy has leaflets, 3 leaflets in a bunch. So leave that alone. And hairy vine, scary vine is the other phrase for poison ivy, because it has a hairy vine that it uses to climb trees and other structures.
The D&L Trail goes through several different climates, which will give you a variety of wildlife and vegetation.
There's some areas where you'll see open grassland. You might see some wildlife that's unique to that kind of habitat in those places. For the most part, it's forested. You have riparian forests alongside the Lehigh River, where you'll see certain species that tend to grow near water. So you'll see river birches and things there. Around here, upslope, as you get onto the mountain, you'll see some of our native hardwoods that grow in the Kittatinny Ridge and the Appalachians. You'll definitely see different species as you go along, especially if you're biking a long distance on the D&L Trail. Look out for those changes. It's really interesting because different types of trees will bring different wildlife too.
I think it's great for folks to understand that the D&L Trail is really the spine of the National Heritage Corridor. The D&L National Heritage Corridor is one of 55 heritage areas in the country. We are designated by Congress, so we have federal legislation that denotes that we are a nationally significant area, and I think it's important for residents to realize that significant history that we have and be proud of it. The region is amazing, and we are really glad that we can work with so many partners to connect the industrial heritage, the economic development, the health and wellness, and the outdoor recreation and nature and the environment.
The D&L Trail is a multi-use trail designed for hikers, walkers, bikers, runners, and in some sections, horses and snowmobiles. While walking or jogging on the D&L Trail is the easiest way to use it, you can take in more of what the trail has to offer by seeing it from a bicycle.
No matter what day of the week you walk, it's wonderful, and there's always someone or something new that you see.
Oh, it's scenic. It's a nice ride. It's level in a lot of places. It's got a lot of history. I love looking at the historical markers that they have here.
You can cover a lot of miles and see things you wouldn't be able to walk to in under an hour. So what type of bicycle should you use on the D&L Trail?
Most popular bike here on the D&L is a hybrid bike. And it's kind of a cross between, it wouldn't be quite a mountain bike, but it wouldn't be totally a cruiser bike. It's just efficient, comfortable, and nice to be on all day.
Besides the bicycle itself, you want to take along some other items like food and drink, a cell phone, a small bicycle repair kit, and of course, wear a helmet.
Anything could happen on the trail. We don't see too many injuries, but you never know what could happen, and having a helmet prevents anything serious. In addition, today's modern helmets have visors on them, and it also offers sun protection.
There is trail etiquette when biking, such as riding on the right and passing on the left.
When you're on the trail, you definitely want to stay as single file as you can. Of course, when you're in a big straightaway and you want to be next to your friends, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're keeping good visibility and making sure no one's coming towards you. So that's a big deal. Just like driving a car, you're staying on the right-hand side, and if you pull over to look at a waterfall, an animal, just pull your bike off to the side of the trail and make sure it's not in the middle of the trail.
You should also use verbal signs as you get into areas with more bikes.
If you're encountering other riders, whether they're in front of you and you're riding behind them, or they're coming at you, if you're riding up towards a rider, you say biker back. It lets them know that you're behind them and that you're going to pass them. You could always give them the hey, passing on your left, which is pretty traditional. Or if you have a rider coming up towards you and maybe the person behind you might not see them, you just yell, biker up. It lets the people behind you know that there's someone coming up on them.
A common question is, how long does it take to get somewhere on a bicycle?
How long does it take is a common question, and it's almost when people are coming there biking, they know how long it takes to drive from this place to that place. So a bike, you slow it down, and then you might see so many things along the way because every mile of the trail is beautiful.
Most people bike at about 8 miles per hour. Of course, you'll be slower if you stop a lot to view the scenery or take a break.
There are certainly people that are ultra fit out there with really fancy, nice bikes. They might be going 20 miles an hour. And now with the introduction of e-bikes, they're governed at 20 miles an hour, so that's about as fast as they'll travel. So you will see people riding up to that speed, but that's pretty uncommon. And the folks that are riding at that speed are seasoned vets. They know to look out for folks, and they're out there, they're being as safe as possible.
When riding a bike, you need to be aware of people walking, jogging, and other cyclists, especially around trailheads.
That's a good point. When you get close to trailheads, the traffic on the trail does pick up. But the good thing is it kind of naturally causes the riders to slow down a little bit as you see more people. And that's where you commonly see kids and stuff. And most people, they see the kids, they see people, they just slow down a little bit and know that a trailhead's near.
Biking on the trail is safe as most surfaces are packed dirt, stone, or paved.
The DNL is a super, super safe trail. We run thousands of people down it a year, and anywhere from little kids running 25 miles to adults that maybe haven't been out riding in 25 years and just wanted to have a nice day.
You can get tips from cycle shops on which areas to bike depending on what you want to see or experience.
We go through a safety talk with them about trail etiquette and passing and how to safely travel on the trail. We also go over what to expect on the trail while you're out there, whether that's to see waterfalls, animals, what to do in that situation, and kind of what direction's best to travel.
When people come to us with an open mind, what should I do today? I've never ridden a bike before. Then we'll send them on the easier surface because there's no car crossings. So we ask a lot of questions of people when they come in and try to help them decide where to go. That's the best experience for them.
Remember to follow these general guidelines when biking on the DNL trail. Be friendly. A smile, wave, or hello can go a long way. Be courteous. Respect other trail users regardless of their mode, speed, or level of skill. Be predictable. Travel in a consistent and predictable manner. Be careful. Be in control and paying attention, especially at pinch points or intersections. Give an audible warning before passing. Ring a bell or say on your left. Try not to startle. Sometimes areas on the DNL trail need to be worked on, so detours may be in place.
The DNL provides some suggestions on detours when we can. If someone's calling and asking me where can I take my kids with a stroller and a Strider bike and trying to learn, I would never want to suggest these on-road detours. So we can work with people on an individual basis to help them figure out the best route for their abilities and their interests.
You can find out more about detours on the trail by visiting delawareandlehigh.org/map. Hope you enjoyed this segment of the DNL Trail.
On our next segment, we'll explore the Slatington and Walnutport regions as we head south into the Lehigh Valley.